In a previous series of videos we've covered known as last photos, we could tell in most pictures that something horrible was about to happen. However, this time, we're going to take a look at some photos that appear normal and have incredibly dark backstories. This first photo is of John Edward Robinson. He is centered in the photo holding a baby with his family. This photo probably doesn't look so different than other family photos in its time. A gleeful family posing for a photographer. However, the bizarre reality here is a family photo like this is showing a family member in your photo who is secretly a serial killer that had already committed several murders. The baby's mother isn't present in this photo, and that is because John Edward Robinson had murdered her the day before this picture was taken. Robbins began taking the lives of others in the 1980s and is dubbed the name by many people as the internet's first killer for using chat rooms in the early 1990s to lure his victims. Robinson's killing spree would go on for decades, and he is believed to have had over 8 victims, all who would mostly end up on his farm in waste barrels. It wouldn't be until 2007 that finally he would be caught and he would accept a plea bargain for a life sentence. It truly is vile how someone could look so happy posing in a family photo and would be responsible for taking the life of a teenage girl who is bound to a wheelchair, let alone many other innocent women. Well, this photo looks okay, right? I will say it's not exactly centered, but I need to explain something to you. This is the photo of an airplane that had crashed in the mountains of Argentina due to pilot error. However, it's not the plane crash and happy faces that make this photo the focal point of why it's dark. This plane immediately took the lives of many upon its crash, and several passed the same evening. The grand total of people on this plane were 45, including 40 passengers and 5 crew members. Right away, overall, 45 survivors would be cut down to 33. The survivors lacked food, with no animals nearby, and fighting cold weather in high altitudes. At life-threatening hunger, options were running thin, so decisions had to be made. This was a tough call, as well as all the passengers were Roman Catholic and feared eternal damnation. However, others justified eating the remains of their family and teammates. Bible verse John 15:13, "No man hath greater love than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." The truth is, the last of these survivors are pictured here alive and smiling. For obvious reasons, I had to crop out a spinal cord from this frame. The survivors remained in the wreckage of the plane majority of the time. If divine intervention were at play or not, an avalanche would strike the broken plane, taking the lives of several more just nights later. Once they would reach rescue, there would be 16 survivors left in total. News outlets would dub these survivors the Jesus Christ cannibals. Lia Shwartz is seen here with the richest man in the world at the time, Wall Street banker J.P. Morgan Jr. Leah worked in a circus with the stage name Leah Graff. She had moved to the U.S. in 1933 and became famous quickly. She would be best described by those around her as shy and sensitive. In 1935, she wanted no part of the spotlight anymore and headed back to her home country of Germany, where the National Socialist Party came into power while she was still in the US. This photo circulated, and people called it the millionaire and the dwarf. Unfortunately for Leah, it's likely due to her being much shorter and being in the cruel atmosphere of the anti-Semitism in Germany, she would be arrested in 1937 and taken to the Sachsenhausen concentration camp outside of Berlin. In addition, it was also realized she was half Jewish. Leah would then be deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau. This would be alongside her family, where their fates would unfortunately come to an end in a gas chamber in 1941. This is a photo of the original family who lived in the Amityville suburban neighborhood on Ocean Avenue in South Shore, New York. This incident has spawned a lore of its own, and I'm speaking outside of the Hollywood films on it. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was responsible for taking the lives of 6 people very quickly, both of his parents and 4 of his siblings. This all occurred at 3 a.m. in November of 1974. Both of DeFeo's German Shepherds were unusually barking for 20 minutes straight, causing neighbors to call the police. Unsurprisingly, Ronald was arrested, and he blamed the voices he heard from the house. This didn't help his case, but some people questioned the truth behind the voices. The next new home buyers bought the house for a cheap price, given its history, and they were aware of what took place. The man this time, George Lutz, claimed to have heard voices and woke up every night at 3:15 a.m. He also claims his wife appeared as if she looked like she was in her 90s at times. After living there for only 28 days, their family fled the home, leaving their clothes and food. As for Ronald DeFeo, he recently passed away in prison in 2021. Like and subscribe to see more, and share this video to those you think who may enjoy it. It also helps me as a small channel to get visibility. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, the details are pinned in the comments and description box below.